Hello, everyone. Welcome to the A stream. As you can see, I'm surrounded by some amazing role players, but the main thing we're going to be playing here is Everyday Heroes. We're going to be showing off their game created by Evil Genius Games. It's a kind of 80s, 90s action movie or action TV show inspired TTRPG using the D&D 5e system. I've heard some of everyone's characters, and I think we're in for a ride, especially with the adventure Ed has in store for us. But if you put exclamation point Kickstarter or exclamation point heroes in chat, we have Nightbot will be popping up the command for the Tortify Kickstarter link. Oh, for some reason that's not working. I'll fix that in a bit. I'll fix it in a bit. But you can find a Kickstarter on Evil Genius Games on Twitter, the Twitter account as well. We also have exclamation point incentive, which should get Nightbot posting a command in chat where you can tip to purchase a bunch of incentives like new NPC or more dinosaurs, which is I think my favorite one for $69. Extreme inspiration, which is a 1d8 that people can add to whatever they roll. And advantage, of course, the classic advantage. But you don't have to just give these to the players. You can give these to the GM as well. So if you want the stakes to be a bit higher, please feel free to do that. Just say in the comments of whatever donation you give, and we'll make sure that happens. I'm going to go around and end with Ed, so Ed can immediately jump into the adventure. But I want to start with me, I guess. Hi, I'm Drak, or Draconics. I use he, they pronouns, but I'm gonna be playing Mr. E. I use he, him pronouns, and honestly, I pity whoever ends up in my way. That's all I can really say. I'm gonna throw it over to Sam as I quickly fix Nightbot.
All right, I am Sam. I am playing Lottie. And I'm not going to do my little spiel yet because I want you to guess who my character is based off of when we start. So, yeah, I'm excited for this. And I cannot see the overlay, so I don't know. Whoever is below me? Who is this?
I just looked because I was like, who is next? Yeah, I'm Pi. I use they, them pronouns. I will be playing as RX, the person in the chair or the woman in the chair, using she, her pronouns. And I'm excited to pwn some noobs on the web. And we're going to pass it over to Stella.
Hello, I'm Stella Luna on Twitch, Stella Luna TV on all other social media. Today I'm going to be playing Kimchi, which is Kimberly Kim's code name. They are using the Bodyguard playbook, and I'm really excited for this game. It's going to be very interesting.
And I guess that leaves me. I am Ed. I am the GM. He, him pronouns. I have had a lot of technical difficulties, so we'll see how this goes. But my mind is relatively as sharp as ever. Yeah, we. This is a great system. As Drak said, feel free to hit up the chat, and it'll provide more information about this. This fun expansion to D&D 5e. We've had a lot of fun creating characters in this world, and I guess now it's time to let them loose within it. So without further ado, we will begin our very first session of the A stream. In episode 1, Alpha Strike. The Agency. An independent organization outside governments, outside borders, and outside jurisdiction. Their agents are highly trained, highly secretive, and highly effective. And as of this moment, never more in need. For there has been an attack on American soil, and the perpetrators are unknown. Their intentions a mystery, and if left unchecked, the consequences could be dire indeed. But thankfully, kilometers offshore, help is on the way. We start in the red-lit interior of a helicopter. White light streaming in through its windows, slowly moving with the sun. And as these rays trace their way across the walls of the vehicles, from the cockpit to the racks of satchels and bags that hang on the walls, the light eventually comes to rest on an individual sitting in the back of the vehicle, typing furiously away on a thick brick of a laptop that rests on their knee. Pi, would you like to give us your character's appearance, their pronouns, and their name?
Absolutely. So Prescription X also goes by RX to the ones that she allows. She uses they, them pronouns. She has a cutoff jean jacket with like an old band shirt, maybe like Iron Maiden is on the title of the shirt. She has like tight-ish leather pants on with boots, and she has she wears a helmet when she's in the helicopter for safety reasons, but also because like she kind of thinks it's cool. And I imagine that she is pulling up the last bit of information that we need for this mission that we're going on.
So as you sit there typing away, the sound of the keypad just sort of echoing as much as it can under the very, very heavy sound of the rotors above, you look out of the window of the Seahawk, its rotor blades swirling above you, and you see below you the waters of the Atlantic Ocean stretching out before you. Blue waves crashing over one another down below, and you see the shadow of your vehicle skimming across its surface. But as you look out, you hear a voice over the headphones as the pilot begins to speak to you. So, where'd you come from, stranger?
It's stateside, and I'm just gonna go back to typing.
So, you worked with the agency much before?
Yeah, I have, and I'm kind of in the middle of doing something. Do you usually talk to people while they're preparing for missions?
Well, it's just I ain't seen your face before, so I was just wondering what your speciality was.
I mean, my speciality is making sure that we have all of the necessary resources and information that we need for these missions.
Well,
Think
so
of me as someone who's helping from not the field.
Right, so you're not going to be getting deep into it, as it were.
I mean, we always need someone who's providing information to the rest of the squad. Yeah.
Fair enough. Well, look out your window, kid. We ain't in Kansas anymore. Welcome to the rig. And looking once more out of the window, suddenly something comes into view. Cutting through the previously unbroken ocean water, you see a large oil rig jutting out of the waves. Cranes and landing pads adorn its exterior, as you see a large oil rig, and in its center, a large metal antenna, across which sit various satellite dishes and blinking lights, and helicopters landing and taking off, giving the entire structure an almost beehive-like quality. And as you descend onto one of the many landing pads, you see that standing to one side there are two individuals, their clothes and their hair whipping in the wind from helicopter and sea breeze alike, and two individuals that, as your vehicle lands and you step out, both start walking towards you. The first is a tall, fairly muscular man with a handsome face and strong jaw, his close-cropped blonde hair framing a very tanned face, and as he walks forward, military gear flapping in the wind and his hand extended, he flashes you a dazzling white smile as the helicopter slowly disappears into the distance. You must be Prescription X. Pleasure to finally meet you.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to finally meet you in person. How's it going?
Good. Name's Rutger. Ryan Rutger. I'm going to be working with you on this mission.
All right, Ryan. All right. Well, let's see if you're as impressive as your file says.
Well, I don't know about that, but I believe you've already met my friend here, and he turns around and Sam. Would you like to give us your character's appearance, their pronouns, and their name?
I'm muted. Now I'm not. So my character is named Lottie Mariella Gilbo. And she's about like 5'6". She's slender. She's got like olive skin tone, hazel eyes, and like long, medium toned hair. And she has like a vest on over some puffy shirt. She looks very out of the element, but it is a bit of her style. And she's got like these high-waisted fencing pants, as well as boots that just go up to the knee, that kind of like fold over at the knee as well. And strapped to her side, you would see like a really long rapier that, you know, resembles a fencing sword as well.
So as Prescription X, you see Ryan gesture to this individual that you have met and indeed worked with before. And Lottie, looking forward, you see the familiar, fairly grungy exterior of Prescription X, still sort of carrying this very, very large laptop underneath her arms. And Ryan sort of looks between you two and, well, I'll see where we're needed, but I'll leave you two to catch up. I'll call you when you're needed. And he begins to make his way off to one side of the landing pad as wind and weather continue to whip around you both.
Well, thank God he's finally gone. How you doing, RX?
It's going pretty well. I mean,
Ugh.
I pulled up the last bit of information that we need for this mission.
What you got?
And I'm gonna type some stuff out and like flip my screen over to let you know like the rest of the dossier and stuff.
Oh gosh, man, you're so smart.
Oh my gosh, thank you.
Of course. Well, I mean, that's why you're on our team. I definitely ain't got the brains. Have you heard anything else?
No, I mean just the information that we were given by the general, and that's it.
Right. Well, guess we'll have to just wait for the others.
Yeah. I think they should be showing up any minute now.
As you say this, watching the variety of ground crew and vehicles taking off and into the sky, and you see off to one side, there is a very, very large jet on the other side of the oil rig that is currently being fueled up. And you can see that all around there are an almost impossible amount of crew all around it. And you can hear loud sirens in the distance, and you can hear voices over loudspeakers. And as you look around this fairly familiar sight, Ryan Rutger comes back, his blonde hair still blowing in the sea breeze. And all right, time to meet the big guy. You ready?
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's go.
All right. So, walking down the steps and off the landing pad, he leads the both of you across the rig. And through a large set of double doors, you are led through the intricate workings of the structure. All metal corridors and black and yellow hazard stripes with various signs pointing towards different areas. You can see signs for the mess room, the lab, the mainframe, over which someone has scribbled the word pencil pushers. And you continue on and on down the corridors until eventually you come to a room that is simply entitled the briefing room. And as you're walking, Ryan leading the way, and every so often you can see fairly familiar faces kind of passing down the corridor. But as you walk, Ryan turns to each of you and, so, haven't seen either one of you in active duty for some time. What have you been doing?
Well, I've honestly just been surviving, running around all the states, trying to, find the one who killed my dad. So, still on that mission, but I've been called here, so I'm here. And she's like putting her hand on her rapier, kind of as like a cowboy would put their hand on their gun, just like holding it.
Ryan notes this and looks down. And what about you, X? You hard at work behind the scenes?
Yeah, actually I spent my break building back doors into a few key governments, so staying busy.
I can imagine so.
Yeah.
I can imagine there are probably a lot of people who would be very pissed off at that. Right, we're just here. And as you come to the end of the final corridor, a final set of double doors is flung open, and before the two of you, you see an expansive dark room. Lamps hang from the ceiling, and in the center, you see what looks to be a large table. But rather than a solid surface, instead you see that its top is a large black screen divided into green-lined grids. They shimmer and they wobble, casting an eerie green VHS glow around the room, in which you see the odd chair stood around. And sat in one of these, their face lit up in this acidic green color, you see another individual that you both recognize. Stella, would you like to give us your character's appearance, their pronouns, and their name?
Yes. Kimchi uses she, they pronouns, and you see this fairly muscular, athletically built woman. She is very distinctly Korean, and you can see that her hair has been pulled back into a very tight braid, and there isn't a single hair out of place. You see that she is wearing what looks like perhaps military surplus gear. There are tailored utility pants with very many pockets. She has a pair of very worn combat boots, and she is currently wearing a deconstructed band tee with the sleeves cut off, and it's some kind of generic rock and roll band plastered right on the front there. She has black eyes, which are dark and shiny here in this limelight, and her hair is just as black. And she has on her wrist a bracelet that has a dog charm on it.
So as the three of you come into the room, Ryan, X, and Lottie, Kimchi, you see these individuals. Ryan, you are less familiar with. You have heard talk of Rutger and his team, and particularly their successful mission recently in the Alps. But you know far less about him than you do about the other two. And as he steps forward, I don't believe we've met. Ryan Rutger.
Hey, how's it going? And Kimchi offers a hand, and she is very physical with it. Uses her whole body weight and shakes very vigorously.
I'm going to ask you to make the first roll of the night. Can you make a strength check for me?
Oh my gosh, yes, okay. That's a 14 plus 2, 16.
Well, that's a natural 1 for Rutger. So as you reach forward and just bringing your whole weight into it, you just clasp his hand, and immediately you just see this sort of perfectly, he's a very kind of generically handsome man, and he's constantly smiling, white teeth constantly gleaming. But as you reach forward and grab his hand, you see his face immediately fallen. It's, oh, geez, it's good to meet you. I will leave the three of you to catch up. And he steps off to one side, leaving the three of you in this eerie green glow as the table in front of you continues to light up.
Well,
Brian, you might want to ice that.
Ice that. Yeah, ice. Yeah.
Thank you.
Kimchi, it's good to see you.
Hey,
Kimchi.
Lottie, how's it going?
Looks like we're getting the gang back together.
Seems like it. I'm pretty excited.
I'm too. Honestly, I'm ready to get into some chaos. See what they got warped up for us.
Has anyone heard from you yet?
I don't think I've heard from you.
I think he's coming on in, but very important status update. Kimchi kind of like wiggles up between the two of you, pulls out her wallet, and just you see a bunch of dog pictures of all of the different puppies that Kimchi has begun to foster since the last time we met.
Oh my god, is that one the Dalmatian? Oh,
Yeah,
well, I like it. Have you ever counted the spots?
I have
How many?
132.
That's a lot of spots.
That's
My
a lot
word.
of time that you're spending on this. Kimchi, you don't do anything else? You just dogs?
I am a very good multitasker. Thank you, RX.
Wait, who's taking care of the dogs while you're here?
my
Kimchi.
friend? Oh,
Kimchi?
I'm a very good foster puppy mom, alright? You don't have to worry about my
That's true.
babies. They're all good.
I
Gotta
trust you, never let us down
contact.
before.
You're out here
Josh.
putting your life on the line, mostly for me, and I need you to do the same thing for the doggos. You got so many of them.
Yeah, I'll make it back just fine.
I believe that, especially with us in tow. I want to come pet them.
Oh, you're absolutely welcome anytime, Lottie.
All right.
as you say this, another voice comes out of the darkness. My, it's good to have you all back. And a man steps out into the light. A tall individual wearing a grey suit, dark eyes gleaming out of a dark face, his grim mouth circled by a closely cropped black beard, greying where it meets the temples, and around his pinky finger he wears a silver ring. And as he taps this on the top of the table, stepping forward, you recognize him as Templeton Smith, the head of the agency. I feel like it's been some time. How are you all?
I'll put her there, partner. Lottie's gonna reach her hand out. Not nearly as strong as Kimchi, so it's like a little frail kind of hand, but she's making sure to make eye contact to pretend that it's very stern.
He reaches forward and takes your hand and sort of quite firmly shakes it. Lottie, how is your mission going?
Well, I'm still on it. There's a lot going on behind the scenes, but it is nice to take a break because I've been stressing.
Well, I cannot promise that this will be a relaxing kind of break, but
That's
hopefully
okay.
it will
Anything
provide
with
the
y'all is
distraction.
fine.
And Kimchi, X, how are the two of you?
You know what? I've been doing pretty good. Yeah, I've got the majority of those back doors put in place. So yeah, you can just let me know when we're ready to move forward with the not so secret plan.
Excellent. That may come in useful. And Kimchi, the Dalmatian.
Wivels, dog pictures into view.
132 spots. Quite the. And as he starts talking, a large spillage of white light comes into the room as the double doors burst open, casting a long shadow along the floor. As the final member of your team steps into the space. Drak, would you like to give us your character's appearance, their pronouns, and their name?
So, first you see the silhouette's a large, imposing, about 6'2", just built like a truck, black man. He's got the high top fade. Probably see a little bit of glistening as there's chains upon chains hanging around his neck. Honestly, I think it might be, especially with the light backlighting him, it's a bit hard to see him entirely because every part of him seems to glisten with some kind of jewelry. He's got multiple rings, a watch, a bracelet. He's got the whole 9 yards. Currently wearing a probably most like it's a camo jacket that definitely had sleeves at some point, but he ripped them off. Underneath you can see that he's wearing a dark blue t-shirt, definitely had sleeves but also ripped those off, and wearing camo cargo pants and battle like combat boots, black combat boots that add probably like an inch or two to his already impressive height. He's looking down at something in his hand, and you see the glistening of a blade, and he's cutting away at something. But as your eyes are refocused, you see that he's actually whittling at a piece of wood, and it's not finished yet, but you can tell that it's actually is going to be a little wooden heart that he's carving out, and he walks in and just looks up. Kimchi, RX, Lottie, I didn't know we're bringing the entire team back together. Come on, he's gonna immediately go for Lottie and like give them a big bear hug. Lottie,
it's so good to see you again.
It's so good to see you. RX, I know you're not much of a hugger.
Yeah,
Handshake?
High five.
Okay, yes, high five. Kimchi, the beautiful Kimchi. I'm so glad to be working with you again. It's been far too long. I heard you have a new
Dog
Yes.
pictures.
Yes, okay. I'm willing this for Eleanor, but she's been a huge fan of Dalmatians recently. So do you mind after this whole mission if I bring my daughter over just to pet with your dogs?
Yes, I am looking for forever homes for all of these wonderful puppies.
I will speak to you soon. Eleanor's birthday's in a month, so.
Roger.
But enough about that. I could go on for hours about Ellie Belly, but what exactly is our mission?
We haven't found out yet.
Oh, well, I'm glad I didn't miss anything then.
No. on time. Ryan. And you see that still nursing a fairly swollen looking hand. Ryan's just stood over by the double doors and looking over towards Templeton. He nods and he clicks a button on the side of the wall. And everything goes dark. The lights above, it is pitch black for a moment, save only for the criss-cross lines on the top of the table in the center. And as Templeton steps forward, you notice that the screen in front of you is starting to change, grid by grid, into a map of Manhattan Island, as it just, across from one length to the other, just slowly spreading out and out and out, as Templeton begins to talk. I would like to thank you all for joining at such short notice. Little under 24 hours ago, Manhattan Island was covered in a large cloud. It is clinging to the streets and the buildings like a mist, and while it appears to be mostly harmless, we have nevertheless evacuated the entire city using the surrounding bridges. Now, despite the seeming non-lethality of the attack, we believe it to be the work of an anonymous terrorist group. We have had no demands, no one reaching out claiming responsibility, but any attempt local law enforcement has made at crossing the bridges and into the mist has been met with resistance. There are forces at play on the island, forces that don't want anyone interfering. Now, while we do not know the identity of the group behind the attack, we believe we have one clue as to who might be involved. And it is a familiar face to one of you who stood around this table. And once more, as slowly the image on the screen begins to change. And it is a fairly large, blown-up picture of what looks to be a still from a security camera, of an individual stepping off a plane. They are wearing a suit, a fairly long coat over the top of this, and while their features are blurry and grained, you can see that they're pale, with no hair on their head, as they step down from what looks to be a fairly large passenger plane. And Templeton looks up at all of you, and specifically Mr. Yu, you realize that his eyes linger on you a little longer than the rest. Just before the attack, a figure of great interest was seen arriving at JFK Airport, an individual known only by a codename, the Butler. He has not been seen since landing in the airport, but we do not believe that it is coincidence.
Damn.
In regards to what is at stake, we want you to get in there as best as our intel can ascertain. The cloud attack is centered around the Empire State Building. We believe that this is where the terrorist cell will be positioned, and this is where we want you to infiltrate.
I always wanted to go to New York.
It's nice.
Especially
I run
this time
around.
of year.
Maybe not so much with the mist. Have we heard any? How did we know that this was going to be dangerous or become dangerous? It gets misty in New York sometimes.
It does, but never so localized. As we say, it is centered around the Empire State Building. And though we have yet to intervene, police, National Guard, every time they try and enter the mist, they push back. Inside there are sounds of gunshots, tanks that are being sent in are coming back little more than disused husks, twisted balls of metal. Something is inside there that does not want to be found out. And
We have
we
no idea.
We have no idea, no.
Sounds freaky. Let's go.
I'm glad you are excited, RX, but caution. Caution is recommended.
The butler's no joke.
is this butler?
I've tangled with him a few times, but the most, at least back then, was nothing more than drug cartels and the like. You know, just real small level crimes. Whatever he's up to now, must have learned from his mistakes from the past, I guess.
Perhaps. The four of you will be working as a team. You have worked before, and I have no doubt that you will do so again with aplomb. But you will also be working alongside Ryan over here. There will be two teams. One led by Ryan, and the other by one of you. I will leave it down to you to choose a team leader. We will need the four of you to get in, disable the electrics in the lobby of the Empire State Building, which will give Ryan's team a 5-minute window with which to enter undetected before the building's emergency power kicks in. From there, find out where the terrorists are, who they are, and what they want, and after that, take them out.
Well, I'm gonna immediately take my name off the list. I'm not exactly the tactical one of the group, and I'm pretty sure we're all aware of that.
I mean, I'm not tactical either, except for in how I speak. And she's gonna do like a really cheesy grin. You know, I've been told I'm a little Jarman. If you want me to go with that.
Can I make a performance check, Sam?
Yeah, I can. Once I pull up my sheet. 25.
Whoa. Okay.
I am extremely proficient at that.
I think Kimchi's hand would have like just kind of almost out of instinct been moving towards gesturing suggestively to RX, but at that, Lottie, see her hand just kind of close and just retract.
Yeah, so, you know, I've been able to get through some tough conversations. I can't really brute force through it, but, I mean, if you want me to lead in some talking, I got you there.
I don't have a problem with that.
No?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm so glad y'all are trusting Lottie, because she's not a leader.
Well, we're gonna find that out in the
She's
moment.
very
Let's go.
charismatic.
In 25, you've convinced me.
Yeah.
She's got like her hands on her hips, kind of puffing her chest out a bit. She's like, yeah. So it's gonna be me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless Kimchi.
Yeah,
do
it
you-
is.
Oh
would they
no.
have- no.
I mean, you can have it, Kimchi. I trust everything. You
Oh
do.
no, you know, no. You just see Kimchi just blushing intensely. No, Lottie, we should follow your lead this time.
Got you.
And as this decision is made, Ryan steps forward and sort of standing fairly close to you, Lottie, just, well, 2 leaders. Congrats.
Thank you.
And as Ryan turns his attention once more to Templeton, who is nodding approvingly at this recent development, he sort of looks at all of you. Like I say, there will be 2 teams. One will approach from below ground in an experimental vehicle called the Mole. The other team will approach from the sky, airdropped from a jet in customized Ferraris. These will provide both teams with a quick means of escape. Approaching via any of the Manhattan bridges will simply be too risky. I will leave it down to you to decide which team approaches from which angle. But
Which one of y'all want me?
well,
Where's Ryan again?
Ryan will be heading his own team. I believe he has 3
Oh.
others. But as for who approaches from the sky and who approaches from below, it is down to you. But before I go, one final thing. There is a reason the agency has been brought in on this. Far from being a simple mission, as I'm sure you have likely gathered, there is a third party in all of this. Now, this third party has certain assets within the Empire State Building, and they believe this might be the reason for any attack. Now, understandably, they do not wish for this event to cause certain secrets to come to light, tumbling into the public eye, so whatever you do, keep it contained.
All right.
We understood.
Contained as in like no one can hear and no one can make it out alive? Like,
Not in
Oh.
so many words, but yes.
all right, Kimchi, I think you have your work cut out for you. And then RX is gonna like grab her laptop and like begin to like huff it and stand over by Lottie, ready so that we can head out.
Well,
Uh,
I will leave you all to it. Mr. Yu, if I can have a word before I head off.
yeah.
So as Mr. Yu and Templeton step off to one side, the rest of you are left around the table. Is there anything you're wanting to do? Any conversations you're wanting to have? And Ryan is off to one side. He seems to be keeping his distance from you specifically, Kimchi, as he sort of crosses his hands sort of fairly defensively across his fairly broad chest, looking over the table, which is once again turned into a map of Manhattan.
Kimchi reaches into one of her cargo pant pockets and she breaks out like this small little packet, and it's one of those activatable like bucket cooler ice packs. She cracks it and then she tosses it over to Ryan as soon as she makes eye contact with him.
Okay, can you make a just a general dexterity check for me?
Okay. That's gonna be a 17.
Yeah, no, it flies across, and he's a little sort of taken aback by it, but sort of like manages to catch it just in time, and sort of looks from it towards you, fairly like inquiringly, like.
You see her tap on the side of. Oh, we'll say that she puts her jacket on now. On the on the side of her jacket, and there is a distinct medic cross stitched onto it.
Much obliged. So, I hear you're a bodyguard of some kind?
Yeah, I actually used to be a combat medic. But I work with RX quite often now.
So, from healing people to beating them up. Bit of a U-turn.
Well, not necessarily. It's a matter of, defensive precautions.
So those defensive precautions, would they have anything to do with the, blacked out portions in your file?
See Kimchi just turn red again. So how's your hand doing? You want to make sure you ice that. At least 20 minutes, no longer than that. Take a little break. Don't want to sprain it.
Yeah, thank you very much. And he starts to work on the hand a little bit, sort of under your discerning eye, as Mr. Yu, Templeton, takes you off to one side, out of earshot of the others, and looking over at them, turns back to you. It's good to see you, Vic.
Good to see you too. It's been a while.
How is Ellie?
She's doing great. I haven't been able to see her very often because, work, but recently I got an update. She learned how to ride her bike for the first time last month, so
That's wonderful.
she's doing well. I'm glad she's taken after her mother more than her father, which I think in this case is probably a good thing.
Perhaps. Vic, I'm going to need you to be my eyes and ears on this.
Of course.
This, for reasons beyond my control, this will be a more delicate mission. I am afraid I cannot give you details, But this third party I spoke of, they are quite insistent that whatever they have within that building is kept secret, under lock and key. Now, would that I could tell you what it was, but I cannot. But I trust you to do what is necessary, should it come down to it.
Yeah, you don't need to worry. Whoever's in there no one's gonna find out about it.
Cool. I'll have to pop by for Ellie's next birthday.
Please. It's in a month. I'm actually gonna be talking to Kimchi about maybe adopting a dog. I think that would be very cute. Eleanor's been talking about getting a dog for the longest time. And I think her mother will be okay with it.
Sounds perfect. I will leave you to it. I will leave you to your planning. See you soon, Vic.
See you.
And with that, he steps on out, and the rest of you are bathed in the white light from the corridor outside as the double doors open once more before swinging shut and leaving all of you alone in the briefing room with Ryan.
So, have we decided who's gonna take the sky and who's gonna take below?
Well, I can go either way. Just depends on who's afraid of heights.
Ooh. I'm not afraid of heights. I'm more afraid of hitting the ground hard.
I mean, just don't forget I can't swim, so as long as we ain't going in water.
Yeah, I think we're good on that front, at least with the initial entry. Who knows what happens after that. I am kind of curious about this experimental vehicle that they mentioned.
I was just about to ask about that. I may or may not have taken this last meeting to take a gander at some files, and it looks like there's some really cool toys in this vehicle.
Ooh. Oh, then in that case, my vote is for below. That seems to be where we're gonna get to use that vehicle.
We ride in the tunnels.
Oh yeah.
So
Well,
RX and you going below?
I think all of us as a team are going to be going below, and the other Ryan's team's going to be the one that takes
Sounds good.
up high.
Well, there'll be 4 of you, 4 of us. I have the usual suspects with me: Shark Eyes, Air Force John, and Locksmith. But I'm happy going whichever way. But either way, you are all going to be clearing the path for us to get into the building on your end. And I assume in terms of electronics, RX, we can trust you to deal with that.
Yeah. I mean, I've been making some tweaks on my portable phone, and yeah, I think we'll have some interesting applications available.
Interesting. I need to invest in one of those portable phones. So, what are we thinking then? What's you're coming in from underground? What's the plan then?
Well, depending on what we see.
Yeah. What can
Break and
we?
enter.
Do you have the schematics of the building or anything like that?
Well, that's
Right.
something that I plan to pull up on the way there. I also, while we were in this meeting, I thought of a plan to get around their security, and so I would like to, I don't know, not really cast a spell, but like prepare to attack this building security.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Ryan sort of looks at the map that's currently on the table in front of you, and pressing a few rather large, oversized buttons on the side, it once again like and creates these blueprints of the Empire State Building. And you can see that down below there is the lobby entrance, which is connected to a number of different lifts that go all the way up to the top. It is just over 100 floors. It is a very, very, very tall building, and there are stairwells as well for maintenance and for other staff alike. And you get a general sense of sort of the building's layout, looking at it. And as they're sort of poring over, Ryan leans forward and sort of looking at the blueprints. All right, well, we'll be dropping in from above, so it's probably wise for us to have the cars nearby for when the mission is over. That way we can all jump ship into those. We can share a couple of vehicles and we can drive off the island if needs be. It gives us a quick getaway. So, and he gestures onto the map. We can park those a few blocks over and we can make our way stealthily in. In terms of where you want to go, I guess that's down to you. Where do you want to come up?
Are there any ways for us to go from the tunnels directly to the state building, or will we just have to come close?
Make an investigation check for me.
Okay. Oh, that's not how you open it. Okay. Oh, I am not a smart boy. I rolled a nat 20. So does 20.
So looking, you can see that the streets surrounding the Empire State Building are fairly wide. They're fairly wide, and while it is difficult to tell how the structural integrity of the building would do burrowing directly underneath it, you reckon you could probably, your best bet would probably be a street or so over, within view of the Empire State Building, certainly, but it would probably be coming up through the tarmac of one of the nearby streets, you would imagine.
Well, scrap that. As much as I'd love to see the Empire State Building collapse, I think that'd be quite a thing to witness. Might make it difficult to do our job. How about here? I was going to point to just a random street, a couple of streets away. What do you think, Lottie? You're the leader here.
Yeah, I mean, it looks good to me. It looks like there's some alleys and stuff, so we can definitely maneuver around those, stay away from people. But that looks solid to me.
Of people. Ryan, how confident are you that they have extracted all the civilians in the area?
I mean, as far as I'm aware, they've been able to evacuate as many people as possible over the bridges and the tunnels. There may well be people unaccounted for. Unfortunately, that is the nature of the thing. It has been a little over 24 hours, so there is a chance that there could be stragglers around, but obviously we can keep an eye out for anyone that we see, and we can protect anyone that needs it.
All right, we should definitely pack extra medical supplies just in case.
That's good. Good call.
Well, while we are on the rig, I was going to ask, what do you need on your end? Is there any equipment that you're after, any weapons or anything like that? Because if we need them, now is the time to get them.
Oh, you know me, I don't really like to use weapons or anything like that. I'm my own weapon, so I think I'm good on that front.
And
I've
she told me I
got
can't have a gun, so no.
So you strictly the using that whatchamacallit, laptop thing?
Well, I mean, and my portable phone, but yeah, there was an accident 2 missions ago, and I was banned from using any kind of projectile weapons.
Do I want to know?
No.
All right, fair enough. What about the rest of you? I know me and my folk will be getting a couple of parachutes just in case, but is there anything you need?
Actually, yeah. Do we have any flashlights or anything to make sure that we can see in these tunnels?
If
I
you
didn't
don't,
consider
Fire
that. That's why you're the leader, Lottie. That was the one.
Hey,
can
it's
get
a
you
one
flashlights.
shot in the dark.
we can get you flashlights, not a problem.
All right, awesome. And extra batteries, please. You know,
Of
they don't like to
course.
last long. Ugh.
No, the blaze.
But other than that, I'm good.
Right.
Did I go talk to the guys in R&D? I saw something that they were cooking up that looked like we would be able to breach a wall. And I'm referring to like a C4 or something like that, like a remote charged explosive.
Yeah, sure, we can get you that. It's just down the corridor to the right.
Cool. Is this okay, Kimchi? Can I bring this?
Yeah. And Kimchi will kind of slide over to Ryan and like attempt to put her arm over his shoulder and say, "Hey,
I-
what are the chances you think of us getting a rocket launcher? Just in case.
I mean,
Just one little rocket launcher."
make a persuasion check.
Okay. Does Ryan have a military background?
He does, yes.
Okay, cool. I have a thing. Part of my military background is I have something called military solidarity. I get advantage on persuasion and intimidation rolls with anyone that has an armed force. Wow, I rolled a nat one. Wait, I gotta roll again.
This is exactly what the moments is for.
12 plus... -2. 10.
Oh no.
He
I
kind of,
am
like,
not charismatic at all.
He kind of looks you up and down a little bit, and that's probably not my call to make. But if you're going with your friend, I don't know, take it up with R&D.
Yeah, great idea. Can I slap him on the back?
Ugh.
RX, wait up!
Okay.
So as RX and Kimchi head on out of the room, once again the double doors just swinging and shooting white light everywhere. Mr. Yu and Lottie, is there anything you want to do? Any conversations you want to have?
Probably not right now, but Lottie's gonna look around the room. Well, y'all better be safe, and you let us know if there's anything that we can do from below.
Yeah.
Don't cause any hiccups for us. We're good at our jobs, but we're only as good as the other team is too.
I would agree with that. We'll keep up our end, so long as you do the same.
Sounds good. She's gonna be packaging away like the extra flashlights and batteries into her little side satchel, and just looking up at Mr. Yu. All right, I'll see you out there. And she's gonna walk
See ya.
through the door.
And Mr. Yu would turn to Ryan and just go, "Hey, don't take it personally. The whole, Kimchi. It takes a special kind of person to be able to handle being around him, and so don't take it personally that you're not that kind of person." And he's like places his hands on their shoulder. It's okay.
Ryan just kind of like frowns a little bit at this last bit. He's like, "Yeah, I get that impression."
Good question. How good is this? I'm gonna hold up the wooden heart that he's whittled. It's like, do you think Eleanor will like it? I'm only recently started picking up whittling.
I mean, it's I don't know anything about whittling, but it looks nice. I think Ellie will like it.
Thank you. Wait. Let me know when you're in town. Ellie's been asking for you for the past 2 or 3 months. It's been a while. We need to get the friends back together again.
Yeah, no, I would, I'd like to see her again. And, how's, Carmelita?
She's doing good. Still on great terms. That's awesome. Being able to see Ellie, and we just chat, about old times, about the new things that we both got planned. She's seeing someone, which is great.
Nice. And
yeah.
How do you feel about that?
I'll be honest, it hurt a little bit at first, but I think it's best for the both of us that we, in that department, we went our separate ways. She's still my best friend, and
Well,
I very much hope that I'm still hers.
you're a lovable guy. I'm sure hasn't changed in that regard.
Thank you.
Right, well, I'm gonna go make sure my team is ready. I'll see you out there.
See you on the other side.
He nods and heads off. As RX and Kimchi, you head down the labyrinthine corridors until eventually you come to a vast space. It is down several flights of stairs, and it is towards the bottom of the rig. But as you enter, it is a large, almost cylindrical space, and you can see that all around the walls there are various contraptions and machines, and you can see sparks flying off as people are welding various things. And you can see that as you step down the stairs, and you can see very, very, in your eyes, RX, very rudimentary computers stood around. There are folks in lab coats, and there are folks with goggles, and people working on. You can see there is a set of what look to be 4 very colourful Ferraris off to one side. And as you walk down the stairs, one of them just, and you can see flames flying out of the back of it, as well as what looks to be a very large parachute that is currently flying out its back. And as you walk forward, you can see that in the centre of the space, almost perfectly cylindrical, there is what looks to be a large vehicle with a massive drill mounted on the end. And you can see that on the side, spray painted in this sort of perfect stencil, there is what looks to be a burrowing mole on its side. But as you continue walking down the stairs, you can see that there is an individual with a clipboard, and she is fairly tall. She has wild, wiry grey hair and a fairly thin and sort of very pale face. It is a face that has not seen the sun all that much, and she has very, very large glasses over her eyes, which serve almost as magnifying glasses, as she is just currently writing away on a clipboard. But you know this to be Dr. Ripley, and she is currently looking around and, all right, yes, okay, so we want to make sure that the mole is ready to go as soon as and RX Kimchi. And she walks forward and starts to almost give you a hug, RX, before sort of stepping back and sort of putting forward a fairly like prim and proper hand, and then yes, high-fiving you. And yeah, how are you, darling? Are you well?
Yeah, Dr. Ripley, I'm doing great. I got permission to come get toys.
Oh, excellent. After last time, you still managed to, wonderful. And Kimchi, how are you, dear? Are you well?
Hey, good. Do you have a rocket launcher?
To the point, I like it. Yes, we have rocket launchers. Are you asking for one?
May I please have one?
Make a persuasion check.
Do they have a military background?
Yes, pretty much everyone does.
I need it. I have a -2 modifier. All right, 15 and a 6. 15.
She looks at you up and down and sort of narrows her eyes before looking over your shoulder towards RX, and then back at you. She just leans in and, will it be going anywhere near X?
No, I will guard it with my entire being. It will not leave my hands. Please? Wait. I've been practicing this. I've had a lot of material. Puppy eyes.
She sort of looks at you and, yes, all right, there's a rack over there. You can take it, and you may take 5 pieces of ammunition. No more, no less. Now, RX, what was it that you were wanting?
Smaller explosions and or like a 2-way communicator. Maybe both.
2-way communicators I can give you. Just yourself, and will you need something for the other team as well?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we should probably be able to talk to each other. I'm always stuck in the van, so I get bored.
Fair enough. Well, as you can see, your van, and she gestures towards the mole in the center of the room, is a little bit larger than you might otherwise be used to, but hopefully it will serve you well, although I imagine, given the current situation and how unknown everything is at the moment, you may well be on your feet more than you expect to be. But 2-way radios, you may take 2 from over there, and C4. You wanted C4, is that right?
Yes, just a little bit, just in case we need to break down a door, you know, like nothing nearly as big of an explosion as last time, I promise. And I'm gonna try to do puppy dog eyes, but like it's not gonna go that well.
Make a persuasion check. Disadvantage, I will say. A self-imposed disadvantage for you, Pi.
Give me 1 second.
I've added rocket launcher to my character sheet, and I'm looking up damage. The damage is just rocket.
We'll figure out what that
No
means in
way.
the moment, I think, Stella.
A5.
She sort of looks at you, and as you turn around with these, what should be poppy dog eyes, but your eyes are just streaming as you're keeping them open, and Ripley just sort of like, steps back a little bit, and perhaps the rocket launcher might suffice in that regard. Kimchi,
Yeah.
your friend is after some C4. There's a small packet over there, just not too much, enough for perhaps 3 doors.
All right, you got it.
Lovely. Is that everything, X?
And no, I mean that's it. I hope you're having a wonderful day.
Oh, well, you know me. I get to play with new toys whenever there's new missions, and I get to pass it on and hope that they come back in one piece and not charred.
It was only a few times. And also I get bored in the van. It's a prison of the mind, Dr. Ripley.
Sure. Kimchi, will you escort RX out of the lab before they get bored?
Yeah. All right, let's go. And
Can I hold one?
I try to subtly wink at RX. No, you can't. But we should get going and meet up with the others.
Okay, all right. Thanks again, Dr. Ripley.
No worries. And as you leave, Stella, can you make a sleight of hand check to see?
Yes.
Okay?
So the reason I'm winking is, if it's okay with you, I'm gonna try to steal something.
That is very okay.
Okay,
Dr.
cool.
Ripley takes inventory. You are playing it fast and loose.
Damn, I rolled a 1.
What are you trying to swipe?
So that's a 4 total. I was trying to steal a chainsaw.
How do you just? No,
How do you
come on.
subtly steal a chainsaw? Just stuck it in your pants? Like, what do you mean? That's not.
You try to do exactly that. You're just like trying to like hide this chainsaw on your person, and you feel a rather gentle hand on your shoulder, and turning around, you see magnified in these glasses Dr. Ripley looking at you almost with a very like pitiful stare as she just shakes her head. And are you going to make me confiscate the rocket launcher if you do?
Sort of like drop the chainsaw into her arms. Sorry.
That's all right. Better luck next time, dear.
All right, RX, we should get going.
Yeah, we should go before we get kicked out.
So, heading on out, and the sound of whirring and hammering and drilling leaving you behind, you head on back to the other two. And is there anything, any conversations, any planning that you want to do before the mission commences and before our break?
Kimchi will tell RX as we're walking back. All right, look me dead in the eye. I am going to give you 1 block of C4. Okay?
Okay.
This is between you and me. Listen, we've got a sacred bond here. Please do not betray this trust that I'm putting into you.
What are you talking about? I would never do that. We have a bond of like sisterhood and you saving my life
Yes.
constantly.
Yes. All right. We'll take a block of C4, give it a smooch, and hand it to RX. Just 1.
Thank you.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Mr. You just shivers for some reason. Like, whoa,
You okay?
for some reason, yeah, I don't know. I felt like just a sudden impending doom feeling. I don't know.
You know, I kind of feel that too, like in my
yeah.
chest.
It's been, I haven't felt that since the last mission, and you know what happened in the last mission.
Oh, RX.
Almost as if on cue, the double doors open and in walk RX and Kimchi.
Do we notice like RX kind of grinning unusually, like a little giddier than usual?
Make an insight check for me.
I'm like vibrating with excitement and at this point.
Okay, Sam, make that check an advantage real quick.
Okay.
Kimchi tries to step in front of RX.
I love how Pi just doing so many just self-appointed
17.
disadvantages on advantages.
You can definitely tell something has changed in RX. RX is usually fairly like chill and laid back, but like
She's not gonna say
definitely-
anything. She's just gonna look up at Mr. U, just like and like elbow him in the side.
Yeah.
Keep an eye on him.
Oh,
What are we all standing here for? Let's go. We got people to save and stuff.
You're right. Absolutely.
Yeah, let's go. Let's get on. Let's go.
let's roll out.
Just watching the back of RX's head as she goes forward, like
And as you walk out of the briefing room, the double doors once more swinging wide open, and your 4 silhouettes stretching inside the briefing room. As the white light slowly dissipates as the doors close once more, leaving Ryan watching all of you leave. As you head to your first mission in quite some time, we're going to take a very quick break there, and we will begin the mission when we are back.
Yeah. See you soon. Us, I missed the beginning of this. We're playing Everyday Heroes, a TTRPG currently not quite in Kickstarter. It's going to be going live in Kickstarter in 3 days on the 17th. But it's basically your 80s, 90s action movie style TTRPG, and we're all playing different classes, very cool, weird classes that you're going to see strut their stuff in a bit. But if you put ! Kickstarter in chat, you'll see the Nightbot pop up that up. Cast will get you the cast members and their pronouns, and also all of their pronouns. And if you want to actually affect the game, ! Incentive in chat will actually pop up a link where you can tip the cast members and try and mess with the game a bit. We have some very cool incentives. My personal favorite, and I think all of our favorite, is more dinosaurs for $69. But that's a bit of a, if you want to do that, please do. That's what I'm going to say. One of my goals is to definitely wrestle a dinosaur. So like, if you want to make that happen, I'm not going to complain. But I'm going to throw it over to Ed to get back into the thing.
Okay. So, skipping forward, as you make your way from the rig, we skip to the streets of New York, the empty streets of New York. And these streets rumble as tarmac begins to shudder. Small flecks of stone and concrete bounce up off the road, and a loud whirring sound fills the air as from the ground a large drill appears through the street, spinning wildly, rising and rising and rising. Black tarmac flying around in a perfect arc. It eventually comes to a standstill, revealing a large metal door in its surface. And as the drill slows to a soft whir, everything goes silent, and the door creaks open. As the 4 of you sat inside this strange red-lit interior space that is fairly cramped with all 4 of you, especially with the presence of Mr. Yu, who takes up a fair amount of room with broad shoulders, but the 4 of you are sat inside the mole, and the streets of New York stretch out in front of you. Though you cannot see them at the moment, sat inside as you are, all of you sort of facing up in the direction of the drill, and you are all of you sort of perpendicular with the ground, looking up in the direction of the sky. What are all 4 of you doing as the drill finally just...
I assume that Lottie is probably sitting next to Mr. Yu and like kind of squished over a little bit, like So, you excited for this?
Honestly, I'm trying to figure out what exactly is such a big deal inside that building that it'll send us. Not to toot our horn, but we are definitely the best they have. So whatever's in there must be pretty important.
I feel like we'll have no trouble figuring it out. It's more so getting out safely in the end.
Speaking of which, RX is gonna hand everyone two-way communicator and say that, yeah, hey everyone, I just got this one, just got these fresh off the presses from Dr. Ripley, and yeah, get out of my van.
Oh,
Get out.
Yeah, okay. You're staying here then? You're not gonna come? You're not coming with?
Get out of my
Okay,
van.
that was a silly question. Okay, yeah, okay. I'm missing you just climb out and land on the partially shredded tarmac, probably around the edges of the drill.
With
Whoa.
you doing that, I like him able to like loosen up like, God. All right. And then she's gonna slide out next to you.
Okay, RX. In this pack here, I've packed some sandwiches, some granola bars, some juice in case you need some.
I get thirsty.
Yeah, and I have some kimchi fried rice in here too. Just keep your energy up.
I love kimchi fried rice.
It's so good. All right.
Yeah. And while all this is happening, RX is like holding on to like the inner breast pocket of like her jean jacket, and she's like, "Get out of my van. Get out." Okay. Thank you for the.
Trusting you. I'm trusting you so much right now.
I just want to look at it.
You know what? Where's some tape? I need some tape. Take some medical tape. Takes one of the puppy pictures out of her wallet, and she'll just like put it right on your workspace. I need you to look at my sweet little angel. Anytime you get a thought to use that, think twice, okay?
It'll
Trusting you.
only for emergencies. And I have to finish working on the security breaches anyway. So get out, get out, get out.
Okay, all right, I'm out. Bye. Whee!
So as you step out of the mole, all around there is fog. A hazy grey filling the air, lilting in the streets and rising and falling over the many, many, many abandoned cars and vehicles that you see around you. And it is quiet. One might even be tempted to say it is too quiet as you step out. And RX, as you watch your friends step out of the vehicle and into the fog-covered streets, there is a and you can hear through the overhead speakers of the mole the familiar voice of Ryan. We're in position. Cars have landed. Good for the escape later. How have you lot got on? You ready? You in position?
Yeah, we're in position right now. I'm working on the security, breaking through the security. Give me 30 seconds.
All right, good. We're gonna make our move. We're gonna converge on the Empire State Building. We'll wait for your signal. We'll wait for the electrics to go down.
I guess with that, do I need to do like a quick check or something, or can I just?
Yeah, so I would say if you can make a computers check for me, please.
Sure. Oh, I am expertise. Nat 20.
So
Let's go.
what would you say you are doing? What is RX's approach to this?
So RX's approach is to record to have a part of this like attack. It's like record like segments of like the recording that they have going on with the security and whatnot, and then play that back to them as like not the lights go off, because I don't want them to realize that something is happening, but as the security just use just a red light on all the cameras, just like ooh.
So I would say from your van, your big drilly van, as you sit there sort of tapping away at your laptop, you are able to find a back door. fairly swiftly, like impressively so, even for you, you're able to find a backdoor into the security systems in the building. And I will say with a natural 20, this gives you an insight into almost the whole building. Almost. I'll tell you what you do see. As you bring up various cameras and as you bring up various angles on the different floors of the building, it is mostly quiet. You can see that many of the offices throughout the building have been evacuated. There are flung files and folders over desks. You can see that many rooms have been left abandoned. You can see that there are coffee cups that lie to one side and are spilled over various important documentation. There is very little in the way of movement as you just click through camera after camera after camera after camera. But as you look into how one might go about shutting down the electrics of the building, it soon becomes apparent that within the building it is not remote. It is a closed system, and in order to affect any change, it will likely have to be done from within the building itself. And I will say with a natural 20, you probably know that this is in the security offices on the ground floor. But in terms of what you see on the cameras, you do not see any movement on any of the upstairs floors at all, and this strikes you as odd. But in the lobby, you see a number of individuals walking around. They are distinctly dressed, it has to be said. At first, they seem mostly to be silhouettes. You can see that some of the mist from outside has seeped into the lobby of the Empire State Building. And you can see that within the lobby, there are around 8 figures. They are wrapped head to toe in what looks to be fabric, obscuring everything save for their eyes, and slung over their backs, you see hilts. All of these individuals are carrying katanas, and they patrol the lobby back and forth and back and forth. One might be tempted to say almost mechanically so, but these are the only individuals that you see within the entire Empire State Building. But with a quick click of your laptop, you are able to loop the footage that runs through all of these cameras. Mm-hmm. But like I say, in terms of turning the electronics off, that will need to be an inside job.
Inside job. Okay. I'm gonna radio over to Lottie and Ryan and let them know, hey, I got into the system like incredibly easily. It's kind of a joke, like what they have back here. And 2, I only see people in the lobby. So only in the lobby. Yeah. And it looks like if I want to turn off any of the electronics, it's gonna have to happen in the security room on the ground floor.
Security room, ground floor.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna like repeat looking at Mr. Yu and Kimchi. All right, is that all you got?
Yeah, the guys in the lobby all have katanas, so they think they're badasses and they need to go down real hard.
Ah, fellow swordsman.
Yes.
All right.
Do your thing.
I got this. Okay. Well, thank you so much, and ring back if you got any more.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm gonna wait till they hear that. Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. And she's gonna holster the walkie-talkie.
And I'm gonna tell Ryan that wait until Lottie turns off the security or the electronics in the security room upstairs. So I'm gonna tell him to hold for like another 5 minutes, and I'll let you know when to breach.
Affirmative. We'll wait for your word. And with that, the radio goes dead.
Well, I'm ready. You said ground floor.
Yeah, ground floor. We have to go and turn things off on the inside.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But everybody has katanas, evidently. So
Okay.
I'm
I
here
guess
for
we're
a
making
good
more of a fair
time.
fight on their part.
Well,
So-
squad leader, just to let you know, they might have katanas, but we've got a rocket launcher.
Where'd you pull out a rocket launcher?
Did you have that the whole time?
I think they come in cases, so I just kind of like
Yeah.
open the case and then I close it.
How did you convince Dr. Ripley to give you that?
Yeah,
Especially with
wasn't RX there with you?
RX.
I went under some special training over the break.
Oh,
What?
what?
You ready for
what
this?
Training. Yeah. Yeah.
Puppy
Yeah.
eyes.
Oh no, I mean,
That'll get him.
yeah, that'll go.
Maybe we can use that on some of our enemies here.
You just tell me when, boss. Just tell me when.
I got you. Lottie's like, we're probably not gonna do that in her head. But like, yeah, absolutely.
Kimchi feels very supported right now. That's all that matters.
And Lottie, as you look from your companion and their puppy dog eyes and over their shoulder, you see that through the mist ahead of you, a silhouette rears from out of the cloud cover. Almost impossibly tall, even in comparison to the buildings around it. The base of the Empire State Building stretches up before you, its vast walls disappearing high above as the mist around you hides that too. Only the slightest of fragmented light glimpsed from the skies above. And as you stand there, walking somewhat closer to the Empire State Building, I will say that, Kimchi, you hear a sound. It's very, very faint, but it appears to be coming from the building itself. It is a strange, very repetitive mechanical sound. Just over and over and over. But all three of you are making your way through the mist in the direction of the Empire State Building.
Does anyone else hear that?
Or what?
It sounds like someone with very big shoes dancing.
Oh.
Kimchi?
I don't know. You really don't hear that? I try to
Do we
point
hear
out the
that?
direction of the sound.
Do we hear it?
So I will say with Kimchi's direction, and also, like I say, it is quiet in the streets, and even just straining your ears a little, you hear the sound.
Oh, no. You're not
It
wrong.
does kind of sound like someone big feet dancing.
Yeah.
Mister, you dance for us.
Okay. He's gonna do a little shuffle.
Oh, it is pretty similar.
Make a performance check.
This is my first roll. Great. Okay.
Dance!
Oh no, it wasn't my first roll. My first roll was a nat 20, which was pretty fucking cool. Okay. No, it's not good. I rolled a 5.
It's not great. Mr. Yu is a man of brawn, not necessarily one of grace.
You can stop
Did
now.
your best.
Checking. No. Okay. Yeah.
Well, I mean, we're not gonna get anything done not going closer to this sound, so we best get on it. Also, as we're walking, do we see anything that would be of note or of concern?
Make a perception check for me. Or investigation, whichever you would rather.
19.
19. I would say, with a 19, as you get closer to the building, and as you get closer to the very large glass double doors that frame the entrance of the building, you glimpse the figures inside, the same ones that RX mentioned. And you can see that the fabric that they are wrapped in is red. Deep, deep, dark red. And as they walk in very, very straight lines around the lobby, and as they turn sort of to face not you, they're not looking at you, but as they turn and sort of their eyes come into view, their eyes being the only portion that is not wrapped in this fabric, you see that where there should be eyes, there are green lights that sort of flicker a little bit with each movement. And I will say with a roll that high, you notice that the sounds that Kimchi pointed out to you seem to come every single time these individuals move. Every joint, every step that they take, it is a as they just move all around the foyer, up and down and up and down. In terms of the outside of the building, it is deserted, it is empty, and you can see there are a couple of abandoned cars here and there, which either through abandoned owners or through crashing have just been left. It is desolate and it is ghostly.
Alright, looking back at her comrades, doesn't look like we're dealing with humans. At least not in this part.
No shit. That sounds like a potential butler situation.
Yeah. Well, picking up the walkie-talkie, she's going to call into RX. RX, pick up.
Yes, I was totally not playing with anything I wasn't supposed to.
Are you playing Snake again?
Yep.
RX. Okay, well, before you get back to your snake, so, you know how you said that you saw some people walking around?
Yeah.
Turns out they're robots.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any ideas on potentially how we could take them out with technology, or is that not an option?
I might be able to do that. I have a plan called Brick It.
Okay.
And so I am going to try to use this this new little exploit that I've been working on. And it allows me to shut down or damage computers within 100 feet of me, which means I get to leave the van. Which is
Are you leaving the
fantastic.
van?
I'm totally putting down the snake game and heading to you.
Kimchi, go back to the van. Go get RX.
Wait, RX
And
is
then
coming
she's just
out
gonna
of the van?
hang up. Yeah, so RX has just been planning some things, which, you know, RX always does. So I think we're going to be saved. So whenever Kimchi gets back with RX safely, we can see what they've got.
I mean, they must be pretty excited about whatever they have planned if they leave in the van for this. Okay.
I know. I'm
Yeah,
excited.
me too.
I hope it doesn't have to do with anything specific. Thinking of like
Specific?
potentially explosives that she recalled earlier.
Mr. Yu is not the most intelligent person, so it's like specific. I don't know what
Just
You mean-
don't worry about it.
Okay.
RX things.
RX. Okay.
Is it going to take an extra turn for me and Kimchi to get back?
No, I'd say unless there's any conversations you want to have along the way, you rejoin your friend.
Yeah, I'm just gonna come out the van, like kind of like in like a huff because I'm running and excited to be out of the van, and I'm gonna boop, boop, lock the van on my way out, even though there's no one here.
The door with the mole stencil just sort of automatically closes, and there is a boop, boop.
And I'm running with my big laptop, and I'm like, I got something for us. I got it.
Right.
And I'm going to come up to where Mr. Yu and Lottie are, which I'm hoping is within 100 feet of like the room, the lobby.
You might need to shuffle a little closer, and that might mean being stealthy, but you're within distance to be able to. Well, Yeah, if you get close to the building, you will be able
Okay.
to. Yeah.
Okay. So from where I'm at right now, I'm going to be looking at my laptop and going, signal's not strong enough. Kimchi, can you cover me while we get a little closer?
Yeah.
I'm gonna like sneak like around the edge, and I'm thinking of like a shooter where like there's like just pretty clear obstacles like barriers and whatnot, and I'm just like kind of sitting on like the back of one with my laptop open, and I'm gonna try to run this 0-day command.
So
And
if first you can make a stealth check for
Gotcha.
me, please.
So the way that Kimchi covers you is she puts her hand on your backpack and she follows you.
like I'm a toddler.
So in that case, Kimchi, can you also make a stealth check for me?
You've got like one of those leashes.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
Yeah,
Backpack leash.
it's RX's out of the van leash.
Got 21.
I did not get that grade on stealth. Yeah, I am proficient in it though.
Oh, so that's at +3 to that then. I think I
7.
Okay. So, Kimchi, as you move forward, and you really like, RX is still jittery with excitement, and you really have to like, as much as you're sort of trying to like keep a hold of them as best you can, much of it is trying to like, hey, da, 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 da. As occasionally RX's head just like comes up over the top of like abandoned cars, and your hand moves from her back all the way up to her head and just like pushes her down as you continue making your way. And Lottie and Mr. You watch as this individual just occasionally just all the way through this blasted wasteland. But on one of these occasions, as RX's head comes over the parapet, one of the pairs of green lights that make up the eyes of these individuals on the inside of the foyer, as RX disappears down behind one of the cars, you hear one of the individuals just stop as a head just and looks in the direction of where RX and Kimchi are currently moving.
Do we hear this?
I would say Lottie and Mr. You, from your vantage point, you see this.
Can we like
and you
mouth to them like?
I would like to pick up. We're like surrounded by rubble, right?
Yeah, no, there's like bits
Well,
and pieces.
Bits of pieces. There's not to be like intense rubble. I just need anything I can throw. I want to pick up just maybe, I don't know, a can or something, and just throw in the opposite direction of
Okay.
RX.
So if you can make a streetwise or survival check for me, whichever you'd rather.
Okay. And could I put? So I have an ability called Hurl, which double the range of any thrown weapon you attack with. Can I? It's not an attack, but could I maybe?
I'll allow it. Yeah. No, I'll allow it. Yeah.
Okay. Oh hell yeah! Okay, cool. So, I'm gonna go streetwise. That's a 23.
23. So, picking up a nearby, what looks to be a can, you just look over in the opposite direction and just with your not inconsiderable strength, just lob this item into the mist and it disappears for a moment. And Lottie, you watch on as your two friends hiding behind one of the cars etch their ways closer towards the Empire State Building, and as Mr. You throws a can off in the direction, you see one of the individuals, the robotic creatures, coming out of the foyer and just and then off in the distance as the can falls and the robot just and starts moving off in the opposite direction to Kimchi and RX.
That was a close one. He just mouths like, that was a close one.
You're gonna hear Lottie just verbally.
Do Kimchi and I notice that the robot kind of saw me?
I will say for you, RX, probably not. But Kimchi, if you would like to roll a perception check for me, please.
Oh, that's not great.
Oh, no.
A 7.
Oh,
7.
no.
No, you two are blissfully unaware. RX, you are giddy with excitement, and Kimchi, you are just trying as best as you can to keep RX in check.
We're doing great. Great. Yep, just nice and steady.
But as you continue going, the two of you keeping as close to the ground as you possibly can, eventually your backs slam against one of the nearby cars as you find yourselves almost directly next to the building itself. The lobby is within spitting distance as you both just sit there, and RX, you have your very, very large, bulky laptop with you.
Glad you made it.
Yeah, I'm in position now. Signal's looking good. I'm gonna exploit this, or send off this exploit. Let's go. And I'm gonna like hit enter. And it is supposed to so it's I think it's, I'm not sure if it's every device within 100 feet of me or if I need to target against any device being driven or targeting a robot. Okay, so is there one of the robots like directly in front of me?
I will say, make an investigation check for me,
Okay.
real quick.
Investigation. 13.
13. So I would say, looking at your screen and trying to gather the lay of the land, you see 8 dots on your screen moving around the nearby area. One of them is currently moving away from the Empire State Building, sort of in the opposite direction to where you are now. You're not entirely sure why this individual has gone off on its own, but you look at the remaining 7, and you see that they're all fairly evenly spaced out throughout the lobby, but in addition to these 7, there is another signal inside the lobby. It's just off to one side. It does not match the robots that you have seen inside. It appears to be mostly still, but I would say from your investigation check, what you can tell is that it is in a similar manner to the two-way radios that you have. The device is connected to all 8 robots that are currently stood either in or just outside of the lobby.
Okay.
It's a separate device, but there appears to be some kind of connection.
Okay. So it looks like these are the babies and that's the mama. So let's go after the mama. And I'm going to brick it basically, and do 96 damage should I succeed.
Okay.
What?
It's yeah, we're level 6, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
that's
are.
at 5th level. So
RX is fucking cool.
Wow. Oh yeah, no, I'll just make this this robot encounter and forgetting there's a hacker involved. Amazing. So do you need to roll something? Do I need to roll something? How does this work?
Let's see. It's against your intelligence.
Okay.
Yeah, can make a intelligence saving throw against my plan DC to negate the effect.
So that's an 11 that I rolled.
What is my plan DC? Oh. Where do I see that?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
And quickly see if I can find it. My guess is that usually it's 10 plus your ability, like your main ability plus proficiency is usually.
Yeah.
So I think they definitely didn't make it because it's 10
Yeah.
plus your intelligence
Yeah.
at the very least.
At level 6, you definitely got that.
Yeah.
So as you zero in on this particular dot on your screen, and you get closer and closer, and you enhance and enhance and enhance as it gets closer and closer and closer, you just click enter. And it just disappears off the screen. And as it does so, the rest of you watching, you all hear a collective as all 8 figures just seize up and sort of just folding over at the hip, all of them just slowly wilt down. And as they do, Kimchi, from your vantage point, close to the building as you are, you hear a very muffled, a very angry voice as you just hear, God damn it. And you hear what looks to be the sound of something hitting something metal, but you hear sounds of exasperation from inside.
RX, I don't think we're alone.
We're probably not. I mean, I imagine that someone was probably looking for these robots, and I just turned them off. I think you're up.
All right. I've got a lot of guns, y'all. I pull out my 9mm service pistol.
Oh yeah.
So, Lottie and Mr. You watch as Kimchi is just like starting to like fucking load herself up behind one of the cars as RX sits fairly smugly next to her. But the two of you, what are you doing as you see the robots in the building, just all of them just fold over, their katanas just sliding to the floor? It is a quite eerie sight, it has to be said.
Damn, RX is good at their job, but it seems like Kimchi's getting ready for theirs.
As you're saying this, Lottie, who had her hand on her sword, just kind of like releases it and goes, "Oh, thought I was gonna get to go
Hey,
into some fun combat."
I mean, from the looks of things, and I like pointing at Kimchi, there's still some people to fight. Kimchi's getting ready, so you might still have a chance.
Bring it.
I'm gonna see if I can snatch one of those katanas. I think it'd be pretty useful.
Honestly, I mean, I can teach you some swordmanship.
Oh, I'm not good at using
Pretty
swords,
light
but I'm
feet.
good at using them in ways that they shouldn't be used.
Yeah, throw it.
Yeah.
All right, that's what you do best too. It's gonna be
Yeah.
great.
And I'm gonna see if I can. The closest robot I can find, I want to get as close to them and as subtly as I can, because I know there's someone around. I'm not sure where though.
Okay. See if you can make a stealth check for me very quickly. And the rest of you, as Mr. You is trying to retrieve one of the katanas, what are the rest of you doing?
RX, are you gonna stay out here or head back into the van?
Can I stay out of the van? Yes. I had a
Did
whole
you-
speech ready.
Did you bring the thing?
Can I use it?
No, not yet.
Oh.
But, all right, here. Emergencies only, okay? And I'm gonna hand over a stun gun and give you a stun gun. I think morally everyone would be okay with me giving this to you.
I wholeheartedly agree with you. Yes.
Protection only.
Everyone's absolutely. And I'm going to go hide behind one of the cars and like Killmonger, like peeking my head over.
I rolled a 19 for my stuff, by the way.
Cool. So you're able to approach one of the nearby robots, the one that is outside of the lobby, that is currently was currently heading in the direction of the can that you threw. And it just sits there, just sort of like head down to the ground, and the katana just resting very simply on its back.
Kind of like crouch down, just to look at his face and just go, damn,
The green lights are no longer glowing.
this is weird. Hope we don't have to run into any more of you. I don't think punches will be very useful against metal. And I'll just take the katana and go to meet back with Lottie, or wherever Lottie ends up heading to.
She's not close behind you, or she's not far from being behind you, but she's like a bit away. She doesn't really move too much.
Okay. So it seems like
Alright.
Kimchi has plans. Where should we head to?
Well, we could try to follow the voice and get closer if you want.
Yeah, we can go from the opposite direction that Kimchi is going to be heading to.
Okay.
Pincer maneuver kind of deal.
Sounds good. How far are we from Kimchi and RX?
Not that far. I'd say probably around like 20 feet or so.
Okay. Wait right here. And she's gonna like quickly scuttle over to the two of them and let them know the plan. Okay, we're gonna split up, but not far. Keep the walkie-talkie on you, but try not to use it because it makes a sound.
Okay.
So, in the end, if you need us, just blow off that rocket launcher. We'll find you.
Sounds good. Before you go, opens a bag, crinkle, 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 pulls out 2 granola bars, one for you, one for Mr. You,
Oh,
in case we get separated.
thank you, Kimchi. I appreciate that. Cheers. All right, we'll see you around. And then she's gonna run off to Mr. Yu, handing him the bar, like, so that she can see,
Oh.
and then pocketing it, like, looking back
Thank
at her.
you. Kimchi knows I'm not myself when I'm hungry. Fuck it.
Kimchi is the light of our party.
Yeah.
All right.
So-
Do we hear this voice anywhere? Like, how far
So-
does it seem?
Make a perception or investigation check for
Both of us?
me.
Yeah,
Whoever's looking, yeah.
Oh. It's 20. It's not natural though.
Actually, 20.
Better than
So-
mine. But mine is a 15, so it's not.
So as you gaze into the lobby from the outside, it is still fairly hazy. Like I say, there is mist and fog that sort of clings to everything at this point. So you are really having to like focus through and look into the lobby on the inside. And through the large glass doors, you are met with a rather large room, vast marble-esque walls stretching up on either side, lined with doors and elevators. And on either side, you see that there are 2 information offices, both of which look as though they lead off to, you imagine, security rooms. And on the opposite wall to the glass door, there's a giant mural of the Empire State Building looking down from on high, its top glowing with golden masonry. And all around the lobby that you can see the robot ninjas are all just stood frozen in place. But behind one of the glass walls, through which you can see the information booths, and like I say, further in, a kind of security office, you can see an individual. Very, very faintly, but an individual nonetheless. They appear to be wearing what looks to be a large leather black coat, and they have on large goggles that appear to have a number of wires attached to them. And on their forearm, on their left arm, they have what looks to be a very large keyboard strapped to it, which they are frantically sort of poking at and like hitting a little bit and trying to and you can see that they appear to be cursing under their breath.
Doesn't seem like we're going to be up for much of a fight. I'm sorry to get your hopes up, Lottie.
Like, think about their own kind of RX.
Yeah.
So, do we want to try to take this one out as quietly as possible?
Yeah. Let's go over the non-lethal, the amount of information that we could
How are you good
tie
at
up.
pressure points?
If you hit anywhere hard enough, it's a pressure point. So
I'll leave it to you then. I'm no good at it.
I'm gonna, as quietly as I can, make my way to this person, keeping in the shadow, and also keeping a lookout for Kimchi as well. Because if Kimchi seems to, I trust Kimchi more than myself. If Kimchi seems to be moving with purpose, I don't want to interfere.
And she just gives you a thumbs up.
Okay.
As
In
he's
that case,
going around, can Lottie like kind of cough in the distance to like keep the focus somewhere? away
Sure.
from them turning around.
So
together.
Kimchi and Mr. Yu, if you can both make stealth checks, and I'll say with the help of the cough at advantage, please,
Ooh.
for both of those.
Thank you. 15.
15 as well.
So you move forward, and as you do so, and Lottie, as you just duck behind one of the cars and just which just echoes out throughout the street, you see the individual and their large goggles just like turn round briefly. They are behind a glass wall, like I say, and next to this there is a door. It is a grey door, metal by the looks of it, you would say, Kimchi and Mr. Yu. But as you get closer to it, and you can see that through this door, that you have to pass through this door in order to get to the area that this individual is currently stood behind the glass wall. You see that the door itself is locked from the inside.
Not great at lock picking. Do you want to go and we can just bust through? I could probably very easily bust through.
Yeah, I could shoot it.
Um,
I lose the element of surprise there.
yeah. Especially since you'll probably take a couple of shots to get through this.
Yeah.
I think I can quite literally bust through. I have an ability that lets me bust through.
You should bust through. Got this.
Okay.
As you still hear just
Wait, take a bite of your granola bar first.
Oh yeah, thank you. Just take a
extra
bite.
strength.
Just look directly into the camera. You see the brands just very clearly displayed.
Yeah, we're getting sponsored, right?
And then I'm going to what kind does the door look like? Is it kind of the door that comes down from the ceiling, or like is it like a door with hinges? Basically,
It's a door with hinges. It's a fairly like simple security door. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to charge through by using Crush. You have advantage on any strength check in order to break an object. And I think this door counts as an object. So I'm going to charge into this and try and slam through it.
Okay, so if you can roll at advantage.
I kid you not, I rolled a nat 1 and a nat 20. So that's a 24 for strength to slam through this.
So Mr. Yu sort of like steps back and goes to like bust the door down, and just before he does, he sort of like steps back a little bit, kind of like reevaluates, and then sort of steadies himself and charges forward. And it is as though he has literally popped it off its hinges. The door flies backwards, like still staying upright until it hits the opposite wall. And you just see all of you that are looking inside through the glass wall that is now next to this empty door frame. This individual in the long black leather coat just turned around and, oh my God! And he just stumbles back a little bit, looking at this intensely muscular figure that is now stood at the door.
Pizza delivery.
We were told to expect company, but... And he is, like, pressing at his keyboard and nothing is happening, and you can see that he's getting quite panicked.
Don't bother. And, like, I'll just, like, step aside so they can see Kimchi ready. There's really nothing you can
Cracking
do.
neck, popping bubbles. All
Lottie's
that.
like on the ground, peeking around a crate, just like.
So, Kimchi, can you make an intimidation check? I'll say at advantage, considering the door has literally flown off its hinges.
This
Okay,
guy's terrible.
I love it because I have a -2 in intimidation. Alright, that's a 1.
Oh,
That's an 8.
So the figure sort of steps backwards a little bit and is looking between you, and you can see now that you're in a fairly simple office space, and on one side of the wall there looks to be a control panel, which has a number of various blinking lights and such. To be honest, Kimchi and Mr. You don't really understand what it is, but it looks to have sort of a diagram of the Empire State Building that is next to all of these blinking lights. But the individual in the dark goggles just stand back, otherwise I cannot be held responsible for what I do next.
Can I roll an insight check to see if he's bluffing right now about
Yeah,
what he's
sure.
supposed to be doing? Okay.
Yeah.
So I definitely, there would definitely be hesitation. Could they seem? And that 20. That's a 22.
Oh my gosh, I want your dice.
Got enough
Yeah.
Die Hard dice. Not sponsored, but you know they're great.
Yeah, he's bullshitting. He has nothing at all. His hand is hovering over the keyboard and he's just looking at you, and you can see that his top lip is perspiring quite a bit.
Whoa, I'm very sorry. I don't want to be backspaced. I'm just gonna keep walking towards them. Whatever you do, don't hit the caps lock. I know that's ridiculous. I've wrote whole messages with the caps lock on. Don't bother. Just take a seat.
All right. And he like sits down on a nearby chair and sort of like brings his knees in very, very tightly, and he's looking between you and.
I'll look out the window to like for the general direction I think Lottie and RX are, and just be like, there's a thumbs up to let them know that it's all good and they can come.
Yeah, Lottie's gonna take that as a cue to get up and walk on over and kind of like slipping past Kimchi into the room, just like, oh, hello there. And then she's gonna pull up like probably a secondary chair, turning it around so that it's backwards and like sit on it, just like, greetings.
Does RX come or does RX stick back?
RX is going. It was in the back with like full on goggles, like with popcorn. You know, like this is a show at this point. So yeah, like after you give the all clear, RX is gonna come and follow. You know, like RX has got all this C4 burning a hole in her pocket.
I mean, hopefully you're not burning, because
You come in
we'll find out.
flames.
We got 2 more episodes.
So as you all come into the room and this individual just looks around at all of you, you see him sort of, as it is hard to tell, Kimchi, but even through his goggles, you can see that as he looks between you all quite furtively and quite nervously, his eyes do seem to keep falling back to you, specifically, Kimchi. And then as RX enters the room, he sort of looking at your garb, just kind of, I take it you are one responsible for taking out my robots.
You left your ports open, dude. Like, I don't know what to tell you. You basically just like told me to come in and fuck shit up. So I did.
Well, it is pleasure to see Master at work.
Thank you.
I
Actually,
take
that's
it.
a good point. You might get front row seats to some more of that. Hey, RX, those monitors and stuff, have no idea what they do, but they seem to be your kind of department.
Ooh, I like buttons.
So, I take it that you are with the agency we were told to expect here.
By whom?
I think that, and he looks towards you, Mr. Yu. I think that you might have some idea of that.
Yeah, I do. Were you one of the knuckleheads I punched out, or were you stuck behind the scenes? 'Cause I ran into a lot of the little goons of the butler.
We are not goons. No, we are not goons. We are here to expose real threat. We are
Wait,
not.
which is what?
We are not terrorists, as you would call.
Well, I mean, I'm open-minded, so mind explaining why you're here? And be quick about it, because Lottie here, if they get annoyed, you don't want to see them when they're angry.
Intimidation check for me, please, Drak. And while this is happening, RX, as you head over towards the large monitor bank on the wall, you can see, and I don't even need to make you roll for it, you can see that this controls basically the electricity at number of levels on the building, and it's going to be fairly easy to be able to shut that down. I will say though, however, as you are looking, there is something odd about the makeup of the electronics of this building. It is a closed circuit, as you previously observed, but there appears to be an independent power source high up in the building. It is unclear as to where exactly this is, but there appears to be something that is generating its own electricity. It will take a little bit of extra investigation to ascertain exactly where and what this is, but there is something off about the top of this building. Drak, what did you roll?
I rolled a 19, as I just plays a hand on Lottie's shoulder and just goes, "He's all yours," and just pat their shoulder.
Oh,
Yeah. And as you say that, because she is sitting backwards in this chair, she's gonna lean up a little bit and just like unsheath her rapier, just kind of like waving it in the air and then pointing it at him like to his throat. And just, like lackadaisically kind of holding it, as she could slip up at any moment. If you don't think you're a terrorist, what do you think you are?
we are.
Careful with your answers. She's like wiggling it a little bit.
We are the Night House. We are a
Oh.
group. Freedom fighters. We fight against corruption and government and against anyone who would seek to do harm to innocents. There's something in this building, something that your government, your precious agency doesn't want getting out, and we are here to expose it.
What is it?
I have not been told. I don't need to know. I trust our leader. All I know is that there's secret flaw in system. I believe term is strictly need to know. Is that correct?
Can I insight check to see if he's telling me the truth?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a nat 1, but I have an ability where I'm able to use a snatch victory and I can turn a nat 1 into a nat 20 once a day. So that's a nat 20.
He appears to be telling the truth.
Okay.
However, I will say with that insight check, you can tell he's also stalling for time.
So, how much do you like your, Adam's apple there? She says, like, pressing into it really, really lightly.
I am attached, at least for
You
now.
don't say. So, what else are you not telling me? Come on, give me some juicy bits.
That I recognize.
She's looking over her shoulder. Kimchi?
As this is happening, RX, what are you doing?
I am getting ready to cut the power.
Mm-hmm.
And also cutting the power and then investigating or trying to like look into like what is this power source here and why is it not hooked into the circuit of the rest of the building?
So can you make a computers check for me? And Kimchi, what are you doing?
Okay.
This individual's just pointing at you.
I think like leading up to it, as Lottie gets into position to start to talk to them, Kimchi is wandering around and putting on her security hat and essentially trying to look for areas that might pose as an entrance that should be guarded or potential security risks, essentially. Just trying to do a risk assessment of the area.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely not able to put that door back on the hinges, but maybe move some stuff in the way to kind of blockade it a little bit.
Okay.
So she's in the middle of like heavy lifting, and as she hears Night House, she just turns slowly, and she is both blushing and sweating at the same time.
Kimchi, what is he talking about?
Ancient history? You said Night House?
I believe you of all people, if you are... Yes, I would know that face. You know us.
Well, Night House are something of kind of a Robin Hood sort of organization. They work outside of the law, so it's definitely worth hearing what they have to say, but I don't trust them.
Well,
And why is that? And a voice comes from the other side of the glass in the lobby. And Kimchi, it is a voice that you know very, very well. RX, what did you roll?
I rolled at the end of the day 21.
21.
Mm-hmm.
So, I would say that with that, looking at the layout of the building and trying to make sense of the way that the electricity is flowing, it does not make sense. It does not make sense that there should be something that is generating its own electricity, especially so high up in the building. But the more you delve and the more you look through the records, and at this point you are literally plugging your laptop into the monitors themselves, something crops up on your system. There is a secret floor between the 85th and the 86th. There is a floor that does not exist, and yet it is generating its own electricity. There is something there that requires a lot of power, and as Kimchi, Mr. Yu, and Lottie all turn in the direction of the voice of this newcomer that has come, a tall, strapping individual with a very, very strong jawline and dark tan skin and long black hair that flows down to around his shoulders. Looking in your direction, Kimchi, with great familiarity.
Oh no, you made them hot!
And as this individual looks at all of you, RX, you are not looking at this individual because the monitor in front of you, as you look at the blueprints in front of you, and you zoom in and you enhance on this secret floor, you realize that it is flashing red, and it is getting more and more intense, and it is getting quicker. And the figure behind the glass looks at all of you. I think we should talk. And that is where we're going to end this week's session.
Ah! I knew it was coming too.
What?
I started taking notes like feverishly. Like I have to remember what's happening now.
I held my breath.
That was incredible. Oh my god. I would like to make it clear to everyone watching that Ed, like, we did not give Ed much time to prepare, and it made such an incredible show. Okay.
Oh, bless you.
Thank you so much, Ed. So we're just gonna do a quick round the table for all of you to shout where people can find you, and just what you're up to. So I want to start with our wonderful GM, Ed.
Oh, I'm okay, but thank you. I am Ed. You can find me on Twitter at Edward_Spence_. I've been taking a bit of a hiatus from GMing for a little while, just because various projects are currently on hold. But you can hear me as a player on Forgotten Paths, which is a weekly podcast that I do with Sam. It's an amnesia campaign, so we have no idea what our characters are, what they can do, what our abilities are, and we're slowly discovering it week by week, and it's very exciting and very fun. And I will soon be back as GM for another project with Sam. I just really like working with Sam. But for campaign 2 of Cantrip Breakers, which is an ongoing campaign, which is weekly every Thursday, and it is set in a dark gothic homebrew world called Mornvale, which contains vampires, ghouls, ghosts, witches, werewolves. It's all very fun, and we have some very exciting new faces joining us. Anyway, I've rambled enough. That is me.
You can never ramble enough. Well, speaking of, I'm going to go to Sam.
Hello, I'm Sam. You can find me on Twitch at Sam, SEUM, Monday through Friday. I stream a lot of Final Fantasy XIV right now, going through my first playthrough. As well as you can find me on pretty much any social media at JustSam, JUSTSEUM. And speaking of Forgotten Paths, Drak was also our first guest ever. So if you start from the beginning, you might hear a familiar voice pretty soon. But other than that, Ed pretty much took everything else I was gonna say. Oh, actually, no, I'm in another campaign on Thursdays. But it's Thursday nights. So, and that's on Captain Robert's. It's a part of GCX, which is Gaining Community Expo. It's a convention based around St. Jude. And we do a D&D campaign leading up to doing it live on stage. So it's coming up soon. And it's going to be a good time.
Oh, damn. I didn't know about that. I want to add that to my schedule. Okay.
Yeah, that sounds exciting.
I'm going to go over down to Stella.
Hello, hello. I'm Stella Luna on Twitch, Stella Luna TV on all other social media. I'm a TTRPG producer, player, streamer, all the good stuff. I run a couple of different shows, most notably on Sundays, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. I run an open roster Strixhaven campaign. That's 5th edition D&D. Open roster means literally anyone can come join at any time. Every week we have a different rotation of players because it's like magical college and everyone has different classes. So it's really fun and very chaotic. On Tuesdays, you can find me over on the Lady May's channel. We are doing Visions of Gold, which is a Call of the Netherdeep playthrough. I am playing a hot mom, party mom character. Very, very fun. A little bit like Kimchi here. I might have a favorite kind of cast of kind of character. We'll see. Yeah, but immediately after this stream, I'm actually going to be over on Creators Assemble helping out with Emerald Templars. We are doing a playthrough of a one-shot adventure for a new game that is coming out, funded on Kickstarter already. Very, very excited. That's it. Also, everyone here is amazing, and you should follow every single one of them.
Yes, please do. I'll put that in chat for everyone's socials. And next up is Pi.
Hi, everyone. I am Pi. I am head producer at Dicey Amazons, and we have a stream. We stream every Sunday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. So yeah, we have a stream coming up tomorrow. I think we're just going to be playing games and hanging out, community games. Other than that, I professionally talk shit on the internet. And yeah, that's about it. You can find me on Twitter at the Feng Fu Pi. But good luck getting a hold of me, because I'm out here living my life.
Hell yeah. Before I do mine, I actually want to give a quick shout out to our producer, Tara, at Mothulu on Twitter. They did the job of making all of this happen on the tech side of things, because God knows I couldn't be able to do it. This is very out of the blue, so I don't want to put them on the spot to make them talk, but follow them on Mothulu. That's MOLETHULU. They've been an absolute star helping this become a thing. As for me, hi, I'm Jack or Draconics. You can find me on Twitter at Draconics. It's DRAKONIQUES. I kind of stream all over the place, so honestly, just follow me there and figure out what I'm doing at any given moment. The only thing I do want to shout out is that tomorrow at 7 p.m. Central, I'm going to be over on the Free Forge on Twitch. We're going to be raising money for, I believe it's called Color of Change, I believe. We're going to be playing in a D&D one-shot called Cosmic Jelly, which is based on Space Jam. So I'm very excited for that. I'm playing, my character's name is Daz A. Wolfman. And that's just one of the ridiculous names and characters that are going to be showing up there. So stay tuned. That's going to be a lot of fun. And also just check out the Free Forge in general, because starting today until starting on Friday until the end of Sunday, they've been doing charity streams. So all of them have been very awesome. So please check them out. Final thing is, thank you for everyone who's been watching. If you want to try out this game, Everyday Heroes, you can back them on Kickstarter. It's going to be going live on Kickstarter on the 17th, but you can still follow them and be notified when they launch. It's a very fun game. If you're into anything, like, as you can tell, my inspiration was definitely the A-Team, but it can go as far as like the Demolition Man. Help me name other stuff. I'm not versed. No, okay, the Demolition Man, etc. Back it, honestly, it's a ton of fun. We've messed around with it a lot, and there's a myriad of different characters you can make and play. But yeah, I'm gonna leave you now. Thank you again for watching, and we'll see you next week for the same time to continue this incredible adventure that I'm very excited to see the payoff for, because I don't know who this character is that Kimchi has history with. Just know that Mr. Yu might be jealous. That's all I'm gonna say.
All you have to think, the only thing that matters is they're super hot. Okay.
And we'll see you next week, everyone. Thank you for watching. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.